Hello everyone, welcome to Radiatic. Today we are starting basic radiation physics. In this lecture or discussion, we will explore complete journey of the history of atom and the structure of atom. The journey of atom was not completed in one day. As you see, it took thousands of years, many experiments and many discoveries. So let's begin the journey of atoms. The story of atom begins from the idea to modern atomic models. That time long ago, about 400 BC, people looked at everything around them like stones, water, air, plant and metals. They think and discuss, if we keep breaking matter into a smaller and a smaller pieces, where it will be stopped. Then the Greek philosopher Democritus find that atom is the basic unit of matters, and radiation physics start from atoms. Beginning of atomic idea or the ancient concept of atoms comes around 400 BC. That time Democritus said that at the end of matter we will reach a smallest particle that cannot be divided. He called it as a atoms. So stones cuts in a smaller pieces, then the very teeny pieces, the finally a smallest particle got as a atom. So he said that atom is indivisible, it cannot be divided. But there was a problem. He had no experiment, it was only an idea. And that idea is forgotten in Aristotle period. Aristotle period is about 384 to 322 BC. He was disagreed with Democritus. He believed matter is continuous, not made of teeny particles. He believed everything was made from earth, water, air, and fire. But Aristotle was very influenceable. So his ideas remained acceptable for nearly 2000 years. But now atoms became scientific in 1803. After thousands of years, scientists start doing experiment on atoms. First experiment done by John Dalton in 1803. He developed the first atomic theory. He think and asked, if chemical combine in fixed amount, then maybe matter is made up of fixed small units. So he proposed Dalton's atomic theory based on chemical experiment. That theory is all matter consists of atoms. That means matter is made up of atoms. Atom of one element are identical. Different element have different atoms, and atoms combine in fixed ratio in chemical reactions. But there is a limitations in Dalton's atomic theory. He says that atoms is the smallest particle and cannot divide it, but later scientists proved atom have a smallest parts. It is made up of particles like electrons. So scientists asked, if atoms cannot be divided, then what are these electrical effects? As the discovery of electrons. Discovery of electrons done by J. Thomson in 1897. He performed a cathode ray experiment. He found that a teeny negative particles coming from atoms, this is called as electrons. Now scientists knew that atom is not a solid ball, it contains smallest or smaller particles as electrons. So that electron having the charge of -1 and mass is around 0.000548 atomic mass unit. So that after the discovery of electrons, the first picture of atoms comes in 1897, that is Thomson model. That models is as Plum pudding models, that is a positive sphere, image in positive balls with a negative electrons inside. But question remains, where is positive charge actually located? As the question is where the positive charge particle located. Ernest Rutherford performed an experiment in 1911, that is gold foil experiment. He fired alpha particles on a thin gold foils. He expected all particles should pass in a straight, but he observed that some particles bounce back, some are deflected. So that he thought something's very small, something very small and very dense is present inside the atoms. So that discovery of nucleus done by that gold foil experiment, that is the hardest part of atoms. The atoms has teeny positive nucleus, mostly empty spaces, electrons around the nucleus. So that Rutherford gives models that is different from the Thomson atomic models. According to Rutherford atomic model, electrons should lose energy and fall into nucleus. Now, Rutherford model creates a new problems. If electron moves around the nucleus, then at a certain time that electron will be absorbed by the nucleus and atom will be not exist. So that Bohr proposed an atomic model in 1913. He proposed electron exists in a fixed energy level cells, that is K cell, L cell, M cells, N cells, and electron absorb or release energy when charging the cell. At the same time, there is a problem to arrange the element by the atomic mass, but some element, because of some element having the same atomic mass, because of in between this there is also discovery of radioactivity in 1896 done by Henry Becquerel, and X-ray was also discovered in between this in 1895 by Sir W.C. Ronjans. So that scientist was faced the problem to arrange the elements by the atomic mass. So that Henry Moseley discovered the atomic number in 1913. Moseley studied X-ray spectra and found that each element depend on their number of positive charge in that nucleus. That positive charge which are established or placed in that nucleus. So that after the discovery of protons, we also assume that or find that atomic number is equals to number of proton in nucleus. But that times that proton was not discovered. So that after the discovery of proton, we observed that atomic number is equals to number of proton inside the nucleus. So that when the discovery of atomic number was done by Henry Becquerel in 1913, there will be the corrections that correct identification of elements was done, and basis on this that periodic table was made. Now scientists knew that nucleus is positive, but the question is what is the positive particle inside the nucleus? So Rutherford showed in 1917 to 1919 hydrogen nucleus is a fundamental positive particles named as protons. They are having the charge of plus ones, and mass of that proton is about 1 AMU atomic mass unit, that is 1.007276 atomic mass unit. How they got that Rutherford performed experiment by the bombarding of nitrogen gas with alpha particles, and he observed that nitrogen nucleus release hydrogen nuclei. So that he conclude the hydrogen nucleus is a fundamental positive particle present inside the atoms. After proton discovery, scientists understood atomic number is equals to number of proton. After the discovery of protons, scientists knew that that atomic mass of an element is more than the atomic mass of protons. So they assume or think there is another particle present inside that nucleus. So James Chadwick in 1932 discovered that particles, that is neutrons. The neutron is a non-charged particle. It does not carry any charge, but the mass of neutron is slightly heavier than the mass of protons, about 0.14% heavier than that mass of protons, whereas the proton mass is 1.007276 atomic mass unit, and the mass of neutron is 1.008665 atomic mass unit. So that neutron was discovered by James Chadwick to perform a bombarding with alpha particle on the target medium of beryllium. He got that there is unknown radiation produced and it knocked protons from the paraffin wax. There will be the neutron was discovered. And why the neutron mass of neutron is much heavier than the mass of proton? Because of proton carries only two ups quarks and one down quarks, whereas neutron carries one up quarks and two down quarks. So we also got that down quarks is more heavier than up quarks, so that mass of neutron is heavier than mass of proton. After the discovery of electron, proton and neutron, there is modern atomic models comes in picture, that is quantum model of atoms, where the nucleus contains proton with positive charge and neutron with no charge, and electron cloud around that nucleus. So that Bohr's models where the electron moves in a fixed cells like K cell, L cell, M cell. It is good for hydrogen atom, but it cannot explain complex atoms completely. So that modern quantum model of atoms comes in pictures where electron exists in probability regions. It will be excited or de-excited by that energy absorption, so that it explains the electron behavior, energy state, chemical bonding and radiation interactions. Okay, where how that it will be absorb that energy electron. When the electron will be absorb energy, it goes to that excited states, and after it excited state, it leads to be comes in or returns to the ground states. While the returning the ground state, it release some energy, that absorbed energy in light photons, that will be discussed in quantum model of atoms. Now the summary of history of atoms from the idea to modern. The idea comes by the Democritus in the 400 BC. That time there will be no any experimental data or experiment to prove that matter is made up of atoms, and the experiment is done by 1803 by John Dalton and proposed the atomic theory and atoms is real. After this, there will be the discovery of radioactivity by the Henry Becquerel in 1896. There will be the birth of nuclear physics, and before this also there is discovery of X-ray is 1895 by Sir W.C. Roentgen. And after this, there will be the birth of nuclear physics. And after this, there will be the discovery of electrons. That shows that atom is divisible. Before this, there will be the says by John Dalton and Democritus that atom is indivisible, but there is electron present in atoms, so that atom is divisible. And when the atom is divisible or the discovery of electrons is done, there will the first atomic model comes in pictures, that atom is not a sphere. It is made up of with positive particles, contains that electron charged particles. So that first model of atoms given by J.J. Thomson. After that, there will be the discovery of nucleus done by Ernest Rutherford by that gold foil experiments, and he proposed another atomic structure where that nucleus is present center in the center of the atoms, and electrons move around that nucleus. But there was some drawback, so that Bohr's models come in picture in 1913, and he proposed the stability of atoms, and will explain that K cell, L cell, and L cell, M cell, L cell of electrons. And at the same time, so there will be the discovery of atomic number was done by Henry Moseley, and it will be identified that elements and arrange easy to arrange the periodic tables according to the atomic number. After this, there will be the discovery of proton by that Ernest Rutherford, that find that which positive charge particles present in that nucleus. So he got that proton is present inside that nucleus, and after that proton discovered, there will be number of proton is equals to number of atomic atomic number, or number of protons. Okay, that is equals. But there is a problems to getting the mass of the nucleus, where will be that mass of nucleus is not equals to the mass of protons. So that James Chadwick discovered in 1932 that another particle placed or established inside that nucleus, that is neutrons, and neutrons having no charge. So that complete nuclear comes in a picture. After these things, that discovery of electron, proton, and neutrons, that modern atomic models is comes in picture as a quantum model, where explain that atom is not fixed at any place. It will be in uncertain principles that will be given by Heisenberg uncertainty principles, and when say electron will be excited and de-excited phase. These are the summary of timelines of atoms and structure of atoms from idea to modern models. There is some specifications of electron, proton, and neutrons. Electrons is minus charge particles, and proton is plus charge particles, neutron having no charge. Okay, and how that atoms understand by that matters to atoms, then electrons, then nucleus, then proton, then neutron, then that atomic modern atomic models. Thank you so much. We will see our next video in next lectures.